All right, that's how the heavyweight championship of the world was decided right there by a double eye poke. And then we will pan over to all of our reactions right now.
That's right.
That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like when we saw a potentially really good first round. Probably would have scored a 10-9 for Gane, right? Had already bloodied up Tom's nose, had landed a couple counter strikes to Tom's aggressive.
Was pacing himself well.
Exactly right. Tom, the last 3 fights has ended them under 80 seconds each. And now we're looking at a fight that he was going to have to kind of fight from behind on and try to not over-leverage himself, knowing that a big-time counter shot could come from Ciryl Gane. And Tom went for a kick. Ciryl Gane went to kind of block it and parry. Ciryl Gane went for a kick. He tried to parry the left hand of Tom Aspinall with a counterpunch that he thought was coming. And then as he continued to parry, he realized the punch wasn't going and then ended up with a double eye poke in the face of Tom Aspinall. He was given the 5 minutes. Doctors came in, tried to give him a rag to clean it up, and it just ended up not being able to be fought. And Tom said it in the post-fight interview with DC where he's like, look, I got poked in the eye, knuckle deep.
The whole crowd booing.
Why are you effing booing?
Yeah.
Because we wanted to see a great fight. And we were all robbed of a great fight. And when something like this happens in the undercard, okay, that's life. That's the game, MMA. Especially with open gloves, that happens. When it happens on the main card, you're looking at it, it's like, that sucks. Wish it wouldn't happen, but that's part of MMA. That's part of the sport. When it happens at the main event, when it happens at a guy who was already robbed of a part of his career because of a knee injury a couple of years ago, and then has been on a furious run, was in the midst of a cold war with the UFC's greatest champion, John Jones.
I like that.
And then had to wait basically a year to defend his title that was given to him because of a retirement, right? You want to go out, and I said it in my monologue earlier, you want to go out and define your era for this division. This was supposed to be the fight that you were going to define your era. You're supposed to be the guy who is a Mack truck, who looks the part, who is built the part, who can hit the part. And now you get hit with another piece of adversity with an eye poke that completely takes off. We don't know how long, right? We don't know the severity of the injury. We don't know how bad this ends up being. As I look here at the postgame show, DC is talking about it. DC has also been the victim of an eye poke. He ended up fighting and was able to continue to fight, and I think won that fight. But he had a vicious eye poke. Like, this is a part of the sport that sucks, that is terrible, but it's also part of the sport. And it's terrible that we were robbed of a potentially great all-time heavyweight fight because of an eye poke. And that encapsulates the evening. It was a fun card until we got to that main event. Something was weird from the jump when Ciryl Gane forgot his cup, right? And then you had to go get the cup and find the cup and bring the cup back and this. And now an eye poke ends the heavyweight championship fight of the world. No contest. Obviously, Tom Aspinall retains his title because of the no contest. But
I'm watching it now in super slow motion. And so when you see it, if Jason, I don't know if you have it still there, but you see the initial contact come in, and there's a lot of damage to one eye, but then there's like the second eye poke is like, oh, there's a second eye poke. If you look at the second eye poke,
it's worse.
That's the one that's worse because that's the one that goes knuckle deep into the eyelid. You see it in slow motion. We don't have the replay here, obviously, but I'm watching it here in the program, and yeah, it's obviously upsetting. Like, you're at this stage that I don't know. Again, like, is that avoidable? Is that
with open gloves? It's not avoidable because people are always going to have their hands doing certain things, and your fingers are always going to be out in MMA gloves. Like, that's just the nature of the sport. Until they figure out a way to not have that be a part of the sport, it's a part of the sport, right? It is what it is. So just a terrible way for the main event of the evening to kind of conclude in what, all in all, was a pretty good night of fights.
Pretty good card, yeah.
Right?
Let's some fast fights, some slow fights. But
yeah, let's get to the co-main event that ended up being the last full fight we saw, which was Mackenzie Dern winning strawweight gold for the first time, beating Vina Jandiroba in a fight where both of them got touched up. Both had swelling underneath the eye. The first fight, Jandiroba versus Dern 1, happened in 2020. Both fighters have evolved so much since then. Those
5 years is a huge
last
difference.
5 years, almost 6 years
Yeah.
since the fight. Mackenzie Dern was great on her feet. I thought her striking was what won her the fight. One judge had it 49-46, which is like domination.
Yeah.
Okay. Jandiroba had really good takedowns. Had her grappling was good. Just didn't really do it.
Didn't follow through.
Didn't follow through. It was the same thing we saw with Volkov and Jailton Almeida in the fight in a couple fights before. You're looking at the judges saying, all right, you got the takedown. Now what?
Now what?
Were you offensive? She was not. Did you try and make something happen?
Her and Almeida would do an excellent job of taking down their opponents, but then would just anchor and brick it and just like do nothing with it. And like, I'm really glad that they scored both fights. One of the things I mentioned was like I was looking for some sort of consistency between how they scored the fight because I felt the same theme in both fights, the Volkov fight and the
Jandiroba Dern fight.
Correct, where it was okay, like. You do, and I'm just going to be ignorant about it, but like you do the Dagestani thing, the Dagestani guys at least follow up.
Right.
And like they get down there and then they're finishing and
Right.
they're trying to get you in a triangle. They're trying to get you in some sort of, there's movement happening. Every decision that they make physically is a chess piece closer to the submission, where it just looked like with Almeida and Jandiroba, like that it was just, okay, I get the takedown.
Now what?
All right, I'll figure it out now that I'm here, but can I get my points for the takedown? And it's like, yeah, I'll give you the points, but like I'm not going to.
But it doesn't matter.
I'm glad that those judges decided to not reward that type of fighting because it doesn't finish. There's no follow through. It doesn't even give Dana White a good product.
100%. This product, I don't think the UFC brass is going to be happy about what happened with their main event, obviously, because now they got to rebook that. And obviously, as you know, when you're booking title fights, it's tough because champions, you have to put them in certain places and what makes sense in where they're fighting and how they're fighting and who they're fighting, and it's throwing a big wrench in kind of the machinations for 2026. When you look at Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista, I thought that was a fun fight too.
That was probably the funnest fight of the night.
Both guys were gritty, were scrapping. Umar just got the better of him. I think Batista had the best shot of the night.
Best shot of the night went to Batista,
and it didn't matter.
And it didn't, and it made Umar better.
Yeah, made him better. I thought offensively on the ground he was great. I thought that he was constantly pushing the pace for trying to get a submission, trying to get something going offensively on the ground in ways that Almeida and Jandiroba just didn't do. And I felt like that was a big piece of not only that, but the pushing the pace on the feet when he was on the attack from a strike perspective against Batista. That was also a fun fight. The Volkov Almeida fight. Volkov's a dog, man. And now with what happened in the main event, does that now cause a bit of a bottleneck at heavyweight? Is now Ciryl Gane...
heavyweights had this issue.
Sure, but now it's even more so, right? Like, now you're champion. We don't know the severity of the eye injury. We don't know how long it's going to keep him out.
Is it that we just can't find guys that are that big that want to fight that well?
No, I'm sure there's guys that are that big that want to fight. The problem is every generation goes through waves, right? Some generations light heavyweight's great. Some generations middleweight. Some generations lightweight. Some generations bantamweight. Like, we're just blessed that we're seeing a lot of those great generations right now in bantam, in lightweight. Yeah. In middleweight, there was a great run of middleweights when Izzy and Alex came in. Like,
well, do you have a rule about when you're doing bets that you don't bet a certain weight class?
It's usually heavyweight unders, lightweight overs, but this one would cash on a heavyweight under because of the fact that they went under. But it's tough, man. Like, that is Volkov and Almeida. Now Volkov continues to ascend, but at what point does he get a title shot, or do they rebook?
It's 45 fights.
Do they rebook Aspinall versus Gane? Is that now in the cards?
Are
they going
to do Volkov versus Volkov versus Aspinall? Would be crazy.
I don't know. Like, there's not really much up there at the heavyweight division, so that creates a logjam and a bottleneck for the rest of the division.
I think UFC 321 has created more problems for
heavyweight
Dana
White
than
we thought we were going to get answers for this heavyweight division, and now we end up with more problems and a logjam at the top again. Is it Gane that fights again? Is it do they book Volkov? Do they book somebody else? Right? We don't know, and we're not going to know for a little bit until we all literally. That's us waiting for the heavyweight situation to resolve itself. We're all Robert, who's again waiting for me still to do my monologue. Guys, thank you.
Great monologue, by the way.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. We'll cut that up and we'll put that out. I think it still stands to reason because the fight didn't actually happen.
You can repeat it again, bro?
I could still use it. Big thanks to everybody in the other studio. Yes. Jason, Weenie. Thank you, everybody, for being great. Robert, obviously, let's pan over to Robert.
That's your director right there.
Thank you, Robert, for everything that you do behind the scenes of making things happen. We appreciate you. We will let you go home now. I know it's been a long time.
To the team out in the newsroom, Kirsten, Chris, Cynthia.
The whole team that came out, everybody
Chief Keith is out there floating and boating. We got our moms out there. We're not going to take cameras because we got kids on the cameras, but we got everyone who showed up, came out. Thank you so much. MMA Hangout is presented by Boost Mobile. Yep. Call me mobile the way I'm boosted. Call me Boost the way we're mobile.
Thank you so much. And we will be back November 16th for UFC 322, Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev and Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Wei Li from MSG, the Mecca. We'll be back November 16th.
We won't be at MSG.
We won't be at MSG, but we will be back with the MMA Hangout live from Dev Flamingo November 16th. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Hopefully we do not have a similar result. Happy Halloween. Go head out to our watch party over at Flanagan's, Kendall 127th on Thursday. Man, still upset about
I'm bummed. I am bummed.
Still upset with what happened to Tom Aspinall. That's going to stick with me for a little bit. So, peace, guys.